DBS community, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super video. You guys know what it is, more yellow decks. And today I'm actually bringing you guys a very interesting Gotenks build that I've just been toying around with a little bit. I think in the current state of the meta, and I'll kind of go over why once we get to that point. I think this deck actually combines a lot of the good that the Gotenks Leader does have, and kind of covers up some of his weak points. And I'll kind of go over that as we get into the video, but make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the video down below. I'll try to post some deck lists. It's not a terrible thing to make the deck list, it just takes a little bit of time, so I'll see if I can punch one out for this. If it's not out by the time the video comes out, I will post one down below in the comments, so it's down there. So Gotenks is a untapped 2 leader who attacks and draws and takes and can take his own life, which is good. So it's very similar to the old yellow Broly that got ratted. Now, what's different with this leader is when your opponent activates a field, not a field spell, if they activate an extra card skill, you get to draw 1 card. And your opponent has to have 1 energy at least. So this card doesn't do anything on turn 1 against Mecha, but everybody else, you'll end up drawing cards. Now, that's what the good does on this side, and on the Awakened side, still draws when it attacks. When your opponent activates an extra card, you draw, and then you have to tap down one of your opponent's battle cards. So kind of a weird semi-Mecha Frieza ability. Final auto, whenever you activate a Union Fusion skill, this card gains 5k in crit. So that is very useful. That we actually use that a lot less in this deck than you may think. We're really using that for our kill turns, generally. And using this as kind of a buffer attack. So, we'll go over what the deck list is here. So your number 1 turn 1 play should be Planet Vegeta. This card is the only turn 1 play that we run in the deck, respectively. I mean, this card searches out almost our entire deck. So you play this, you get to search out any 4 or less Saiyan card in your entire deck. Any 4 or less Saiyan, no energy specific, no color specific, just a Saiyan under 4. And then at the end of your turn, you get to restand all of your great apes, which we may run a few of those in this deck. So we have the Planet Vegeta. So I'll move the map back a little bit, just so we can see stuff here. So we have those. We have 2 of the Might to the Resistance Xeno Bardoks, and this card is a combo for 1 energy. Comes into play, and then it's a 15k crit body. That's also a blocker. It has unique, and also when this card's in play, you can only play mono yellow Saiyan cards in any of your fields. So this actually stops you from playing Planet Vegeta. This stops you from playing your Unisons, but we only run 2 of them in the deck. This card's really good later on in the game, and I'll explain why once we get there. But for 2, it's not bad. We can use it as a buffer for a few turns. There's a lot of decks that are going to be able to remove this 15k card. And then if our opponent, if they're trying to play around this effect, and they say, you know what, I'm not going to combo over this, I'm just going to swing once, and I'm going to keep pressuring your board. And if they keep playing double strike cards or whatever, and then they just don't want to swing, then you just keep building up your hand until you can play out everything. But eventually we'll end up getting rid of this card on the board. But it's a 2 of 4 apes of the Bardock Raiders Warcry apes. This is a 2 cost, comes into play, taps something down, draws you a card, and then it's 20k double strike. Now remember, both of these cards can restand off of your Planet Vegeta. So even once we can swing with this guy, we can swing with this, and then we can just get to restand them at the end of the turn. Because the effects on this, even if they hit this with I don't know, a Release from Evil or Time Magic or something, I believe this card will still restand it because it's not being restood off of its skill, and it's at the end of the turn. So 1 copy of Grade 8 Prince Vegeta. This is a crit blocker of 20k. Whenever you play this card or you combo with it, you search top 3, add a Grade 8, and then pitch a card from your hand. It's there as a combo piece later on in the game. We're never going to hard cast for 4 energy. It's just kind of there as an extra ape, just in case we need it. 2 Bardock Father and Sons. Card comes out for free if you activate main. Opponent has 3 more energy. You tap down opponent's battle card. If you do, you get to play it. That's 15k body. And then we use Bardock Will of Iron to evolve on top of that. So Bardock Will of Iron is a 20k double strike blocker that comes in for 1 energy and evolves on top of a Bardock. So it can evolve on top of this, and it can evolve on top of this. Cannot evolve on top of this, unfortunately, because it is a Bardock Xeno. Gives us another double strike card. 4 Gine This is a free blocker. If you have a Bardock card in your leader area or your battle area, this card comes out for free. Now this does not count because this is a Bardock Xeno, but this will count, and this will count. So if you have any of these on board, you can play this out for free. They're just free blockers. And in a meta where you're playing a lot of cards, where your opponent is playing a lot of cards either on your turn or they're playing them out for very, very cheap or for free, having a free blocker that you can play is extremely good. So I'm going to make some room here. I'm going to end up bringing some of these cards back out. And we're going to go over the main card, the main sequence in the deck. So we run 4 Whis super combos and 4 King Vegetas. This is your lifeline in the deck, and I'll explain why. So this is a 10k combo for free that sets up your rival plays because it is a red and a yellow, but also negs a battle card by 10. This card comes in for 1 yellow. You get the KO something 3 or less in rest mode and draw a card. So anybody who's playing aggro, any sort of aggro, whether it's Red Broly, whether it's King Piccolo, whether it's Vegex, just something that plays a lot of small battle cards. This card's amazing. They play the Piccolo piece, the Eradicator of Peace at 2-drop that burns a life or whatever. They play that, they combo, you say no negates, you rival this bad boy out, you pop it, draw a card. Very, very powerful. You can KO most cards in Vegex. You can KO the 3-drop Red Broly whenever they swing with it because they get cute. They want to swing out at first and then swap it to the other one. You just use this to pop it, and then you pop. You cut the chain off before it starts. But this is a very important card because it evolves into this card here, which is the Absolute Defense Great Ape King Vegeta. A lot of text on that title. So this card here allows this entire deck to go off. You probably looked at this deck and you said, wow, you have a lot of extra energy cost cards. This card kind of removes all that. So this card is a 3-cost evolve. You evolve on top of a King Vegeta. So they evolve on top of this. If they ever make a King Vegeta that is a skillless, or if they ever make a King Vegeta that is a 2-drop or something else, it will evolve on top of it because it just says a King Vegeta card. So as long as it has that in its character trait, which this card does. This card is a 25k double strike that has a permanent that actually has 2 permanents. First permanent, all of your Yellow Saiyan cards have barrier. So any Yellow Saiyan card that you put on the board has barrier, which includes all of our apes. The second permanent is the important part. Permanent, all of your Saiyan cards have their combo cost reduced by 1. That's crazy. So we'll just take this card here on this board. This becomes a free 10k combo because this is a Saiyan card. So now we're going to revisit our deck here. Bardock Raider's Warcry. If you have one of these on board, this card becomes a 1-drop combo, and then you can play it out. If you have 2 of these on board, this is a free 10k combo that plays out a card. When you have one of these on board, this is free. This card's already free. This is free. This is free. Oh yeah, and then because your first permanent, all of these cards get barrier. So if you have any of these cards on your board here, they all gain barrier. Which we're really only playing out Saiyans, or Yellow Saiyans, so they all have barrier. So you have these, which are free blocker barriers. You have any of your blockers and your double strikers here that all have barrier, including himself. So, and this is a meta where barrier is very difficult to get through. There's not a lot of decks that can remove barrier for very cheap. So being able to establish a board where you play this guy out, and then everything you play after that is either going to be free or very, very cheap. And then you're just building this entire board up with apes, and it becomes extremely annoying to deal with. Currently, this is the only way to get into this card. I'm hoping they reprint or they make another King Vegeta card that maybe it's a skillless, because then it would work with this leader here. But there's different ideas that you can do. But this is your lifeline in the deck. You want to try to mulligan for one of each of these cards. And I'm gonna play this card out on turn 3. That is my play. So as long as I haven't awoken yet, I'm gonna try to play this out hopefully at the end of my opponent's turn. If not, I mean, I could technically tap out for it. It doesn't feel great, but you want to try to get this card out on your opponent's turn. So then you can go into your turn, play this guy on top of it. Now you have your barrier guy set up, awaken, restand 2 energy, and now you have all of these cards here at your disposal, whether it's this, playing this out for free to then combo this out for free, whether it's comboing this out for free, whether it's comboing this out for 1, whether it's establishing free blockers with barrier. There's a bunch of different combinations where you don't have to have a lot of energy up. So this is, like I said, this is your lifeline of the deck. Once this card's on the board, you can start getting stuff rolling. Of course, there's a little bit of setup that involves with this deck, but you're going to hit this card. Most of the time you're going to hit this combination. It's very, very powerful. One of the stabilizer cards we run is Vegeta Unison of Fury. There's so many yellow unisons currently in the game, but if you're running a unison deck that doesn't play out unisons for free or doesn't have a specific synergy with them, you just play Vegeta. Turns off any deck that wants to go wide or tall extremely quickly. Also can be used as a game finisher, being able to tap 3 or -3, tap an energy, and then becoming a dual attack double striker. So we run 3 of that guy. 3 Nimbus. It's only extra card negate that we run. Yellow doesn't currently have anything that's extremely good for yellow. You can run Time Magic if you want. It depends on the meta, but right now Flying Nimbus is just much better. Your Overwhelm options, you have Secret ID and then SS4 Goku. This is your dual attacker for 6. This is your board wipe for 6 energy, and for Overwhelm 6, and they're both 25Ks. So you can pick. You can run 2 of each. You can run one split. You can run something else. I think those are probably the 2 best Overwhelms you can run. Now we also do run the package of Trunks and Goten for fusions. So we run these 2 are Flash of Brilliance. We only run 1 of each. When this card's in the drop area, you can pitch a yellow card, add this card back to your hand. So once it's in the drop area, as long as we're not playing against a card or a deck that has drop area removal, these cards are safe. They also can be used for fusion targets. This guy also can be used for a fusion target. This came out of the expansion pack. When this card is used in a union fusion, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and then put in rest mode. And then you can't activate copies of autos of copies of the skill for the turn, so you can't do 2 of these to tap 2 different cards. You can use 1, so you use 1 of these and 1 of these. Generally, you end up charging 1 of these and then just keep the 1 in there for when you're going for your fusion. We run 2 of the Goten promos. This card is a 1-drop negate if you have a unison on board. So we have our Vegeta, and then at the end of your turn, you can pitch a card from your hand to add this card back to get another either a fusion target or another negate. So we run 2 of those. That's another one of our fusions for Goten. So here technically we run three full Goten. The 1 Trunks, these count as Goten and Trunks, so technically we run a total of 5 Trunks. So just having the extra one of these, the Trunks TP is not very good, or else I would have included it. The Goten's just at least nice because it is a negate. And then we run 3 of the 7-drop guys. So with your with this guy out, this card becomes much scarier because he has barrier now. And that was my biggest issue, is that he was a 3-drop that can be popped by Frieza. So if you played him into yellow, you were, into green, you were screwed. But now with this on board, as long as they can't remove this, you can play this for 3 energy, and I'm comfortable playing him down. If I'm playing against blue, that is an issue. But this card's just great because it's going to have barrier on it. So it's going to be a dual attack, double strike barrier. You Union Fusion for a Goten and Trunks. Comes into play, draws 2 cards, and then choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, ignoring barrier, negated skills, and then KO it. So obviously that's why you use one of these. This card will put any card in rest mode, and then you can use this card to KO any card, regardless of what keyword, skills, or permanents that they have. So it can negate everything. Also, when this card's on the field, this is a 10k combo for free. So just in case you have an extra one in your hand, instead of using it, and instead of pitching it off of Nimbus or something, you can use this as a 10k combo. 1 ape, because that's all I have. If you have more, definitely run more. It's searchable off a planet, and it's just a great card to pitch. It's also very, very good for your flashes. So you can activate flash, grab this back, put this in the drop area, tap 2, use that to draw 2 cards. So that's really good. 1 cooler, because we run a lot of double strikers in this deck. So once I fill my board up, so hypothetically, if you have let's see here. So let's say you have the ape on board here, right? Let's say you have ape on board, and you know, in one turn, you could let's see here. So in one turn, you technically could play out this guy and all of these. Or we'll say like two. We'll say two. So you spent 2 energy and you played out 3 battle cards. One that has crit, 2 that have double strike, and then another one that has double strike here. So let's say this is your board going into your opponent's turn. I'm going to swing at this guy, and then they're going to topo or try to floodgate me. Then you can tap 3, play this, negate that, and now your opponent just wasted 2 energy for no reason. Oh yeah, because these are all Planet Vegeta, all these cards will restand at the end of your turn. So if these have blocker, they're safe. They also, your opponent can't swing into them because they're going to be restood. So put your opponent in a very, 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 very bad bind. One of the tech cards that I added is 2 Unbreakable Son Gokus. It is a 1-drop. I mean, it's a 1K combo. It's a 1-drop combo that draws you a card. But with this, it's a super combo because this card negates this card's. This reduces its combo cost by 1. So this becomes a free 10K that you can just combo and draw a card. So it's just a free 10K combo at any life. So it's a red. So we could also use it for let's say we don't have the Whis in our hand. We also can use this card to rival out our King Vegeta, and then we run Supreme Kai just because it is probably the best secret rare in the game currently. I think overall, just because it works in almost any deck. It's a board wipe, stops your opponent's battle card. I mean, stops your opponent's unison and leader card from attacking. Like I said, can wipe battle cards and unisons, and it's a 40k swing for 1 energy. Absolutely nuts. So that's what I have for you guys here today. Very fun tech deck. I think I'm gonna test it at my locals. I'm gonna test it online a little bit, see how this is going to perform. I've play tested it a few times and it's gone okay. I feel like I've gone kind of even with it. I want to play it a little bit more, maybe get some videos for you guys just so you guys can see the madness that this deck can bring out. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.